Today, I'm going to cover the best laptops for data scientists, including those doing machine learning and AI. I'm so excited, folks. I've been wanting to do this video for some time, and today I'll be debuting something special. To make this guide as comprehensive as possible, I interviewed several data scientists working in the field. I'll be combining their feedback with my own personal experience, as I did a lot of data science myself over the years. Anyway, this guide is going to be applicable for students as well as professionals. Now, to make this as easy to understand as I can, I've come up with 3 representative data scientists. Let me introduce you to Lilia. She is an investment banking analyst who spends her day going through companies' financial statements to determine whether they are overvalued or undervalued. To do this, she primarily uses Excel, for which she is a black belt ninja at, but for analytics that are too large for Excel, she leverages business intelligence tools like Tableau and Power BI. Next up is Bob. He is a quantitative data scientist, and he works in the same bank as Lilia. He spends his time building models that forecast interest rates and the price of commodities that may impact the companies in Lilia's portfolio. He spends his day writing code in Python, MATLAB, and R that executes on remote servers. And then we have Agnes. She works on a large language model for the interior design company Decorilla. Her model is used by their chatbot, which listens to clients' design needs and then responds with ideas. She tests and refines her models locally on her laptop before putting them into production on the company's cloud servers. She works in Python and Rust while leveraging libraries like PyTorch. Now, taking a look at these 3 personas from a laptop buying perspective, Bob and Lilia's needs are actually somewhat similar. Lilia's only doing basic analytics on a laptop. Bob, although a quantitative, does not execute his models on his laptop. Instead, they execute on a remote server. So, similar to Lilia, his actual performance and data storage needs on his laptop itself are basic. Therefore, I'm going to first cover what kind of laptop data scientists like Lilia and Bob need, and then I'm going to build on that with some additional needs for a data scientist like Agnes, who has much higher computing needs. If you want to just jump to that section, feel free, I won't be offended. For data scientists, you'll be working with a lot of data and graphs, or even code. You'll want to see enough of them as possible on screen to really know what's going on. Therefore, unless you're always using your laptop plugged into an external monitor, you'll want a display that is 15 inches or larger. But it's not just a display size that determines how much you can see on it, it's also its brightness and resolution. I'd recommend a screen with a minimum of 400 nits of brightness, but preferably 500. This will enable you to see the display clearly in a variety of environments without needing to squint. Brighter environments such as rooms with direct sunlight will require your laptop screen to be brighter. A matte display certainly helps with this, as it is non-reflective, but it won't completely solve this issue. And when it comes to the display's resolution, I recommend around 220 pixels per inch or higher. This will make small text and numbers just easier to make out, as they will appear crisper. A fast refresh rate display is also a nice bonus, as it will make scrolling through lots of data just look silky smooth. When it comes to the laptop's chassis itself, many data scientists don't work alone. They frequently demonstrate their work to business partners and other team members. Having a laptop that is light enough to easily pick up and take with you is ideal. I'd try to get one that is under 5 pounds, but preferably under 4. This will also make working in environments like coffee stores or co-working spaces just more pleasant. Now, for the keyboard, you'll want one with a comfortable, satisfying click and a standard layout. There is nothing worse than typing on a keyboard that feels uncomfortable and hurts your wrist, or reaching for a key and pressing the wrong one. On this note, if you're going to use a lot of Excel like Lilia, you'll want a Windows laptop. The hotkeys for Excel are different than on macOS, and you just won't be as efficient. Also, something to watch out for is whether the keyboard has a number pad. Some data scientists really like them and others don't. It's a personal preference, but just be aware that getting a number pad isn't free. It forces the laptop's keyboard to be off-center, which you may not like. For the trackpad, you'll want one that is nice and accurate, so you can quickly do things like click into a data cell. Look for one with a haptic trackpad, those are the most accurate. Now, for the processor inside the laptop, it's become quite complex of late with a ton of new ones announced. For data scientists like Bob, their computing needs on their laptop itself are light, as his processing, as I said, it's all done in the cloud. For Lilia, it depends on how large her dataset is and what operation she is performing on it. If you believe the compute needs of your laptop are light, all modern laptop processors from Intel, AMD, and Apple sold in new laptops $500 and up are good enough. If you believe your computing needs may be more, look for a laptop with an Intel Core Ultra 9 processor or an Intel HX one. You could also get an AMD Zen 5 processor or one with an Apple Pro or Max chip. Quick note of caution on a couple of specific processors. Qualcomm Snapdragon processors use the ARM version of Windows. Several data science programs like Tableau, Power BI, and MATLAB, they do not run natively on this hardware. I tested them for this video. Tableau and Power BI, they do run well under emulation, but MATLAB does not. Regardless, you will never get the full performance out of the hardware that you are buying for applications that run via emulation. So, only get a Snapdragon-powered laptop if you are certain that the programs you are running will work. Excel is a good example of this. Now, on Power BI specifically, the desktop version doesn't run on macOS, so keep that in mind. Finally, do not buy a Chromebook for data science. You will be even more limited on what applications you can run. Now, in terms of the configuration of your laptop, I'd like to see you with a minimum of 16GB of memory and 512GB of storage. But I'd strongly recommend more if you can afford it. 32GB of memory and 1TB of storage is a good safe amount. Memory and storage are very important in data science. Fundamentally, you're working with lots of data, and that takes up a lot of space, and when performing operations on it, it needs to be put into memory, which will use up a lot of memory. Obviously, the amount depends entirely on the dataset you are working on and what kinds of analysis you are doing on your laptop itself. So, these are general guides. Let's talk battery life. There have been huge improvements in laptops with the latest generation of processors. This includes the following ones. Any Apple laptop with an M series processor, Intel's Lunar Lake processors, also known as Core Ultra 2, AMD Zen 5 processors, and Qualcomm Snapdragon X processors. All of these will give you fairly decent battery life. So there is more of a benefit to buying a laptop with a newly released processor than there has been in prior years. That being said, I personally carry this tiny Ugreen Nexode Pro 65W charger with me no matter what laptop I'm using. It delivers enough power to drive most laptops while also charging your phone. This video is not sponsored by Ugreen. In fact, even for the sponsored spots that we've done for them, they don't seem to want me to promote this charger. I have no clue why, as it really is a marvel of engineering. Anyway, I thought I'd mention it as I don't think battery life should be make or break when such a portable charger is available. In addition to the attributes that I've already mentioned, when you're in the zone, you'll want to minimize distractions. This means that you'll want a laptop that doesn't feel overly warm to the touch, and if you're in a quiet environment, you won't want to be distracted by fan noise. In general, we've found laptops with an Apple M series, Intel Lunar Lake Core Ultra 2, or Snapdragon X processor are S tier for minimal heat and fan noise. Laptops with an AMD Zen 5 processor are A tier, and they are followed by AMD's older Zen 4 processors and Intel's Core Ultra Meteor Lake, which are B tier. Windows laptops that are older than this will be noticeably louder and feel warmer. Now we're going to turn it up a notch. When it comes to training a model, many professionals and researchers like Agnes do test their models on their laptops. There are numerous reasons for this. One such is that server time can be very expensive, especially on supercomputers. You don't want to waste their processing cycles by running a model that may not work. Therefore, it is valuable to have a laptop that is powerful enough to at least test your model on. And by the way, I'm referring to testing the training of a model. That is more intensive than model inference, which is using an already trained model. Alright, when it comes to that training of a model, GPUs are more powerful than CPUs. That's because they are better at executing matrix operations, which are the backbone of machine learning and artificial intelligence. Now, when choosing which GPU, keep the following in mind. NVIDIA's CUDA API is the most developed instruction set. It, of course, only works on their GPUs. Now, you can use AMD's dedicated laptop GPUs, as well as the integrated GPUs in MacBooks, but they're just not going to be as industry standard nor as powerful as NVIDIA's. And in addition to which GPU to get, memory is critical to how well your models run. There are up to 2 types of memory in your laptop. Graphics memory, which runs fast and is only available to your dedicated GPU. And then there is system memory, which is used by your CPU, integrated GPU, or NPU. It runs slower, but you can get more of it. Having enough memory to fit all the data required to test your model is vital. Dedicated GPUs in laptops, they have limited memory available, currently between 6GB and 16GB. So keep that in mind when picking your laptop. Now, if you absolutely need more memory than what's available in a laptop's GPU, or at least one you can afford, you can indeed run machine learning tasks off your laptop's CPU, but your model just won't run nearly as fast. One interesting exception to this is Apple's MacBook Pros. Their integrated GPUs are extremely powerful, and since their memory is unified, you get the benefits of faster speeds, similar to graphics memory, and you get access to more memory, up to 128 gigs, which is similar to the benefits of system memory. So it is totally viable to choose an Apple laptop for machine learning for that reason, even if it means missing out on CUDA. By the way, you may have heard about powerful NPUs in the latest generation of laptops. Please be careful here. These are exciting for sure, but right now their tera operations per second are way behind even the slowest dedicated GPUs. And since they use system memory, they're slower again. Another heads up, AMD is coming out with a new set of laptop processors called Strix Halo. These promise to do something similar to Apple, combining a high-powered CPU with an extremely powerful integrated GPU that can share memory. Alright, time to bring all these learnings together into recommendations for buyers like Agnes. I'd recommend getting a laptop with a dedicated NVIDIA GPU that has as much graphics memory as you can afford. However, having enough system memory is also important. It's a nice backup if you can't fit all your data in the GPU's memory and you want to execute via your CPU. When it comes to system memory, I would recommend a minimum of 32 gig, but ideally 64. The other path you could of course take is to get a MacBook Pro for the reasons that I've already talked about. With this all said, it's now time to recommend some specific laptops. These are laptops that come as close as possible to achieving the recommendations I just made. None of them are perfect. Links to the ones that I talk about will be in the video's description and on our website. In fact, it is very important that you visit the best laptops for data scientists lists on our website, justjosh.tech. New laptops, they come out regularly, and that list will be kept up to date well after this video goes live. Also, this is a best laptop video. These ones are therefore pretty pricey. I will put a selection of cheaper laptops on our website, as I do want to keep this video actually short enough to be watchable. And on that note, I'm only going to hit on the highlights of each one. You'll find links to our full reviews of each of the laptops I mention on the website too. We're going to start with the Yoga Slim 7i Aura Edition. It is a very light laptop for one that has a large 15.3-inch display. Its screen is excellent for data science work. Bright, high resolution, fast refresh rate, and the laptop has an extremely comfortable keyboard. It comes with Intel's latest Lunar Lake processor, so it gives you very long battery life, no heat and fan noise, and as it's an Intel processor, the broadest application compatibility. Also, if you want to do some gaming in your downtime, this processor has the most powerful integrated graphics that we've tested in a thinner light Windows laptop. Now, even though this processor does have excellent single-core and integrated GPU performance, its downside is that it has poor multi-core performance, so it's not the most powerful of laptops. I recommend it for data scientists with basic performance needs of their laptop itself, like Lilia and Bob. My next recommendation is the MacBook Air 15. Just like the Yoga Slim 7i Aura Edition, this is another lightweight laptop with a large 15.3-inch display. It's actually easier to pick up and carry around than the Slim 7i Aura, as the Air is thinner. Compared to that laptop, the MacBook Air gives you comparable multi-core performance, faster single-core performance, and better battery life. That being said, it's a similar class of machine to the Aura in terms of its overall performance, which is basic. So again, suitable for data scientists like Lilia and Bob. The biggest difference between the Air and the Aura though is in creature comforts. The Air 15, it's a more all-round premium laptop, so the little things on it like the webcam and speakers, they are noticeably better than on the Yoga. On the flip side though, the Yoga has a fast refresh rate display and a more comfortable keyboard. Many people, including me, will prefer the Aura because of that. The ProArt P16 is a great option for data scientists who are looking for performance, yet they still want a laptop that is somewhat portable. The ProArt uses AMD's brand new Zen 5 Strix Point processor. The laptop performs very well and it is effectively cooled, so it doesn't get warm to the touch nor have annoying fan noise. It is very light and portable for a 16-inch performance laptop, and there are a variety of different configurations available. At the bottom end, you can get it with 32 gig of memory, 1 TB of storage, which is pretty good, and an NVIDIA RTX 4060. But you can spec it right up to 64 gig of memory, 2 TB of storage, and an RTX 4070 with 8 gigs of graphics RAM. It also has an incredibly crisp 4K Plus display. Its main downside though is about that display. While stunning, it doesn't get that bright, and it doesn't have a fast refresh rate. If this annoys you, a great alternative is the Yoga Pro 9i 16-inch. Its mini LED panel is high resolution, bright, and has a fast refresh rate. Its main downsides are that it is heavier and it looks more dated than the ProArt. Also, for some reason in the USA, it can only be had with up to an RTX 4060 and 32GB of memory. Elsewhere in the world, you can configure it with an RTX 4070 and 64GB of memory. Alright, now we're going to step it up to the final notch and talk about very powerful laptops that are going to be the best out there for doing ML and AI on your laptop itself. Just be prepared, these big boys are expensive. I'm going to start with the MacBook Pro 16. I'm not referring to the base models, I'm referring to an upgraded configuration with a Max chip and plenty of memory. The Max chips have significantly more powerful GPUs and higher memory bandwidth. As mentioned earlier in this video, this is a rare laptop that can combine a powerful GPU with up to 128GB of very fast memory. Exactly what ML and AI model training needs. Other than this, the MacBook Pro 16 is just a fantastic all-round machine. I personally have chosen to use it as my high-performance laptop. It has it all, it's well built, it weighs less than most other high-powered laptops, it has great battery life, a good keyboard, the best trackpad, fantastic speakers. You guys get the point. That being said, it's a Mac, so it is super expensive and you don't have NVIDIA graphics, so you don't get CUDA and most AAA games aren't available for it. Now, if you want something super powerful that runs Windows or Linux and has an NVIDIA graphics, the Legion Pro 7i, it's a great pick. This laptop has a very powerful Intel 14900HX processor that is fed a ton of power, so it performs very well. It can be had with up to an NVIDIA RTX 4090 with 16GB of memory, and the laptop itself is very well cooled, which again, it helps it perform extremely well. It has 2 upgradable memory slots, so you can spec it right up to 64GB of system memory. It also has a great screen and a comfortable keyboard. Its main downsides though are that its display's pixel density isn't quite as high as I'd like, and it is quite a thick laptop. But given the performance of the components inside, what can you expect? Now, if you want the most extreme performance in a 16-inch laptop, the Eluktronics Hydroc, it's the way to go. It gives you the same components as the Legion Pro 7i, but it adds the option of water cooling those components for even more performance. It also uses rare 48GB memory chips, so you can spec it up to a whopping 96GB of system memory. If you're not in the USA, this laptop is sold by other companies under different names. Check out XMG if you're in Europe or Aftershock if you are in Australia. Finally, you could go the 18-inch laptop route with the MSI Titan 18. That laptop actually has 4 slots for system memory, so you can spec it up with 128GB. But at this point, given its enormous weight and price, what are you doing? You really should be buying a desktop. Well, that's all for today, folks. As mentioned, we'll have more options in our best laptop for data scientists list on our website, including cheaper ones. In fact, our website not only lists all the laptops that we recommend for a variety of different types of users, but it also shows you where to go to get the cheapest prices on them, at least right now in the USA. But in the future, we will be expanding that feature to support viewers in additional countries. Also, if you don't already know, I do have a second channel that's all about how to be successful in your career and in business. Before I became a full-time YouTuber, I rose up the ranks of corporate America to the highest titled level you can get at a bank. Hopefully I can help you achieve your goals even faster than I did. My business channel is linked below, so go check that out. YouTuber shtick time, smash the like button and get subscribed. Not only does it help us grow, which means that we can make more videos for you, but as I always say, it makes my dearest mother very proud. Till next time, go do something awesome with your day, and I will catch you later.